This is my note card. Should kids be held responsible for their parents' actions of bringing them to the United States illegally? Every year, millions of people migrate to the United States for a search for a brighter future, better and brighter future. America has been portrayed as a land of opportunities in other countries. Today, I'll be talking about a U.S. government assistance program where they attempt to help undocumented students and youth. I'll be talking about the DREAM Act. I will be talking about the possible outcomes, which are mainly positive, and I'll be talking about an alternative law, which is similar to the DREAM Act. The DREAM is a development, relief, and education for alien minors. Zimmerman's article in 2011 states that the DREAM Act would give conditional legal status to those who came before the age of 16 and who attended college or joined the military forces. In 2008, Pew Hispanic Center released some information that 1.7 million people between the ages of 18 and 25 who were undocumented were in the United States. And as we can see here in the pie chart, we can see that 78% of those people are Latinos. So that makes a big part of the undocumented youth here in the United States. The DREAM Act would eliminate penalties attributed to schools who give in-state tuition to undocumented students. The DREAM Act would give validation of belonging, meaning that kids who came to the United States when they were little, they don't know their home country because they haven't been back since they were here because they're illegal, so they can't go and come back. So it will give them a sense of belonging here because that's where they are. That's where they're from, and that's what they know. Also, stated in Beaumont's article in 2012, all the presidents who have been in office during the DREAM Act voting have supported it. So if they see that it's a good thing, I think we should all be supportive of it and pass it. I'm going to talk about all the requisites needed to apply for the DREAM Act. They can be found in the Persuasive article released in 2012. You have to enter the U.S. before the age of 16. You have to live in the United States for the past 5 years, continuous years, prior to the approval of the DREAM Act. And also you have to be between the age of 12 and 35. And you also have to have good moral character and have attended high school or obtained a GED. Now that I talked about what the DREAM Act is all about, I want to talk about some possible outcomes. Bardesia's journal in 2012 stated that the main ones who would be benefited from this DREAM Act would be the students who don't have papers, right? Documentation, legal documentation, that would facilitate their acceptance to colleges, and that would mean an acceptance to college would mean that you have a certificate, you have a degree, which ultimately means that you have a better better job. You would also get a driver's license, which you might think is not a big deal, but really those people might not go out from day to day. They're afraid of going out because they might think, oh, I'm going to get stopped by the cops, so I don't want to go out, I don't want to go to school, I don't want to go to work, and that's because a single stop from a cop can put you in jail, and ultimately can lead to deportation. It can also help America in general. The study states that if the DREAM Act was approved, and after 10 years, it would bring in $2.2 billion to the U.S. economy. It would also mean that we could keep more gifted brains, meaning that a student who quit school because they can't afford it, but they're really good at it, they go to a minimum wage job, which they can do so much better, but they can't because they don't have the legal documentation. Okay, so now that I talked about some possible outcomes, I want to talk about an alternate law that was passed because the DREAM Act was never passed. Okay, so in 2011, the DREAM was denied. It passed in the House, but it was declined in the Senate. And Carrillo's Journal in 2012, it stated that the deferred action was first introduced and announced in June 15th of last year. It wasn't until August 16th that the deferred action offices started taking applications. The deferred action is basically with the same requisites as the DREAM Act, but it's not the same. You don't get the same outcome from it. You only get a 2-year work permit, and of course you can get a license, but that's mainly all you get. But an estimated 1.7 million people would benefit from it. That's a big number too, so I think that's a great thing that Obama's administration did. Also, in conclusion, the approval of the DREAM Act benefits everybody, not just students, America too. It gives a better and brighter future to those who came to the United States when they were little. And America provides, like I said earlier, the $2.2 billion over the 10 years. Today I talked about what the DREAM Act is, what the possible outcomes could be, and about the deferred action. Today I want to encourage you guys to please take a minute and call this number, 202-224-4721, which is James Inhofe's number. He's an Oklahoma Republican senator, So please, let's take a minute and call him and tell him that we need to get this passed because it's really, really important. So, yeah, thank you.